Welcome to another episode of Same Text, Different Font.
Hey everyone.
Just an update on our social media platforms. We now have Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
I didn't know we had a TikTok.
I recently started TikTok because every time I talk about the videos, someone else tells me we should join another platform. So like when I said we were on Spotify, people said join YouTube. So now we're on YouTube and people said join TikTok because when you're scrolling, you'll see the shorts. So I said, okay, right. So then I was like, how do I make short? I know how to make shorts for small things, but they want me to take our podcast and do shorts, which is like a preview or like a clip of it to post to get people's attention. So I'm doing that now. So follow us and subscribe and like and do all the positive things for our platform so that we can be promoted.
And if you don't have positive feedback, then it's best to just not contribute that at all.
But if you have constructive feedback, we'll take that.
Yeah, we like constructive feedback. Thank you for doing all the broadcasting, marketing, all the things that is social media related because, you know the story. I don't know anything about those.
We know. So we recently passed Easter, which this is not a religious PSA, but I'm just saying that we recently passed Easter and I connected with my coworker. If she's listening, you'll know who, because she's Polish and my parents are from Trinidad. And we have this in common that every year our moms ask us, are you off for Good Friday? And we have to say, no, Mom, it's not a holiday. We don't get off. And then the next question is, do you get to leave early? No, Mom, we don't get to leave early. What about Easter Monday? Easter Monday is not a thing in America. We do not get off.
I'm not sure because for the first time this year, I saw Easter Monday on the calendar. So if it's going to be on the calendar, maybe it is becoming a thing.
I don't know if it's becoming a thing, but the calendar has a lot of stuff on it, but it's not real holidays. So.
I don't know about that, but regardless of whether it's a thing or not, we're not getting off from work.
Regardless, in a previous episode, hospitals are open 24/7, so we are not getting the day off.
No. But that's interesting. I wonder what did you and your coworker discuss, and if there's any Polish traditions that her family does?
Well, that was the other thing that we said. Both her and I said, well, if Good Friday there was an event taking place or some sort of gathering, then maybe we would use a vacation day to take off. But there's nothing being done. So
you're having seafood.
Yeah, but you don't need to take the whole day off for that. You can eat seafood at any location.
Sure.
So my point is that I would have never thought that from Trinidad to Poland are a lot of similarities when it comes to religion. And even certain things that her and I discuss, and we realize, wow, our moms are very similar and they're almost the same.
You should get them to meet.
I thought that. I said
they might have their own show.
That would be interesting.
That would be really interesting. Maybe one day we'll have them both on here.
That would be interesting.
The reason why we brought up Easter being recently is because our, as we mentioned in our previous episode, our family, they're from Trinidad. And one thing you should know about Trinidad is that they love a day off. They will take any opportunity to celebrate, to get together, to go to the beach, to cook some food, have a couple of drinks, play some music, whatever the case is. So for Easter, they have a very long weekend of having Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, of course, Easter Monday. So we thought it would be interesting if we did an episode on all things Trinidad. This is the flag. She's very excited about the flag. Do you know what the colors on the flag represent?
Trinidad.
No. I mean, the red is for the warmth of the people. I agree with that. The black is for the richness of the earth. And the economy in Trinidad is an industrial one that is heavily relies on oil and gas. So the black represents the richness of the earth. And then the white is for, I forgot what the white is for. I think it's for water, which something like that. But that's basically
Wouldn't it be blue?
I would think it would be blue too, but I don't think red, black, and blue will make a good combination. So either way, those are what the colors represent. You learn something new every day.
Every day.
Yeah. So, I'm going to have to preface this by saying I don't have all these little facts memorized, so I may be referring to my phone every once in a while. Forgive me.
Well, we should start by saying the whole episode is dedicated to Trinidad, not just because of Easter, but that was our segue into our episode of Trinidad. And that's because we travel a lot and we are very interested in sharing our travels, but we should start with where our family originated from. So we're going to talk all about Trinidad.
I mean, that was a pretty long segue into what this episode is about, so we'll try to shorten it up next time and get straight to the point. But Trinidad is a twin island, Trinidad and Tobago, not Tobago or whatever people like to say. And believe it or not, you might not understand what people are saying, but the official language is in fact English, which I get
broken English.
It's broken English, nevertheless, still English. I don't know if you get that question often.
No.
Well, I get that question often. What do you speak in Trinidad? Like, same thing we're speaking right now, English. And what else? What are some of the other facts I wanted to bring up? I spoke about the economy already. The population in Trinidad is 1.5 million people, which is super small when you think of it.
But the island itself is very small. You can drive through the length of the island in one day.
I mean, there will be a lot of traffic.
Yes.
Because
there's one main highway.
Right. And I think they're expanding the lanes of those highways. I mean, each time I go back, there's new infrastructure, new buildings, new highways. So I will say that it is definitely a developing place. It hasn't been stagnant. The first time our mom went back after a couple of decades, she could barely recognize the country because so much had changed, which is a good thing. We need change. We need newer systems, highways, more buildings, just all the above. And also it gives an opportunity for jobs. So there's 1.5 million people there, and the population is mixed. They have primarily Indian and African people, but there's also a mix of Chinese, Portuguese as well. Mm-hmm. Do you know how they kind of ended up in Trinidad?
Something related to this indentured slaves?
Yeah, they're not called indentured slaves. It's different from slavery. Indentured servitude. They were indentured servants from these countries, and the reason is because Britain, which was the of Trinidad, needed to find a way to get laborers over to Trinidad to work in the sugarcane plantations. So their solution to needing a labor force was to take indentured servants from these countries over to Trinidad to work. And that actually started in 1845, long time ago. So because of that, the ethnic makeup of the country is pretty diverse. There are Portuguese people, Chinese people, which really lends itself to the food. The food is amazing. Every time she goes, she has an entire list of things that she must eat.
That's what I'm here for, to talk about the food.
All right, talk about the food.
I think the food is, I think everyone, not everyone, but most people would agree that the food in Trinidad is just so good. And it's not only the food in Trinidad, but the food that originated in Trinidad that you can find in New York or even in the other states and maybe other countries. It's just so good. It's like a flavor that you've never had before. So yeah, when I go to Trinidad, everything tastes so much fresher, healthier. Even when you're eating things like Chinese food and pizza, it still tastes so healthy, so different.
I wouldn't say so healthy, but it has a different taste for
it
sure.
It
doesn't taste like you're gonna
greasy.
Die from it.
It doesn't taste greasy. It doesn't leave you feeling sick or anything like that. Trinidad is, some of the food that they're known for is doubles, which is their street food. You can get that here in New York, and I'm assuming some other places as well, in roti shops. So you can get doubles as their street food. They also do bacon shock, which is famously known for in Maracas Beach in Trinidad. You have to be careful when you go there because sometimes, we've heard that sometimes they're not using shark because they can't get any, so they use fish. So you have to be careful. Make sure Because I'm assuming if you are going there and you want to eat shark and bake, you want the shark. So make sure you're getting real shark.
But that brings up the beaches.
The beaches
Some of the most beautiful beaches are in Trinidad and Tobago as well.
I've never gone to Tobago, but yes, that's what I've heard. Maracas is the most famous beach, probably because of the food stands around there. But the waters are almost always pretty rough. And
so we're not swimmers.
Yes.
I'm not going into the water anytime soon. It's really pretty to look at.
It's more of a hangout. You don't go there.
It's not a hangout.
It's a line.
It's a line.
It's a line. You go there for the lime, but if you're going...
Hey guys, we're not referring to a fruit. It's a fruit, right? A lime is a fruit. And a seed.
We're not referring to the fruit or the vegetable.
Whatever it is. I think it's... Oh, yeah. I don't know. Well, either way, we're not referring to the round green thing that you're thinking of. People in Trinidad call any sort of get-together, hangout, just any sort of gathering of people a line. FYI.
So that's what you go to Maracas for, because you go for the food and the drinks and just to have a good time. But if you're going swimming or surfing, you're not going to Maracas.
You've seen people surf? I've never seen anyone surf, but apparently they might.
I don't know. I don't know, any sort of water activity. I don't think it's being done there.
No.
But then Tobago is known for their nylon pool.
Yeah. The nylon pool is said to have healing properties where if you rub the sand on your skin ends up being super soft, exfoliated, and just really healthy. So I guess we should all just run to the
And there's also a part of that beach where you take a boat out in the middle of the ocean. I don't know how far out that you're going in the middle of the ocean, but when you get there, the water is so shallow that you can stand up and it's like to your waist or something.
That's the nylon pool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That it's not like...
It's not an actual pool. It's out in the deep ocean. I was nervous to get out of the boat and into the water because I thought for sure I would not be able to survive, essentially. But yeah, it came up to maybe about my waist, which I was very pleasantly surprised. I wasn't in any danger whatsoever.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Tobago is a smaller island. You can take a plane to get there. It takes 15 minutes on the plane, and you can also, or you can take the ferry, which takes 3 to 4 hours. So, everyone has a different idea of how they want to spend their weekend. So if you want to spend it on a boat, then take the ferry. If you want to get there fast and have a good time, take the plane.
Well, I think some people use the boat as part of their liming.
Yeah.
They make an experience out of it. But the boat from the ferry, from what we hear, is kind of rough and people mostly get sick. So you don't really want to start that way. That's not a good part of the line that you want to start with.
No. You can end the line with that, but definitely don't start it that way. Yeah. Tobago is the smaller island. Like I was saying, people usually go there to relax. It's much more, I don't want to say calm, but it's just really known for going there for a long weekend where you can rent a house and just have a very low-key weekend or time off.
It's like a staycation. When you're in Trinidad and you want to get like a weekend getaway, you can go to Tobago and get a house. And most of these houses is huge enough that you can have a number of family or friends with you to share in this. Going back to the food, some of the other dishes in Trinidad are, I think the national dish is pilau, which is very similar. I think every culture has a dish like this where it's meat, rice, beans, and sometimes vegetables, like all cooked together in one. So it's a one-pot dish. And you can put any sort of meat that you want, chicken, beef, pork.
Is there a shrimp pilau?
I've never had it, but I'm sure there is.
If there is, I would like to try it.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
You can try it. You can make it and try it.
I'm definitely not making it.
What else? Obviously, curry chicken, curry beef, curry duck, curry goat, curry anything, roti. What else? These are my favorites that I'm saying.
Those are definitely her favorites. But along with some of the foods have really interesting names too. Like an avocado. Do you know what the name of an avocado is? It's a zaboca. Zaboca.
It's
What
not
in the
avocado.
world? It's not avocado. So all the
No.
curry she's talking about needs a zaboca on the side.
Yeah. But in Jamaica, they call avocado pear.
Oh, you see, everyone
has
like
a different
way of saying
yeah.
the same thing.
Even a lot of the fruits that is in Trinidad, obviously it's amongst all the islands in Guyana, Jamaica, Grenada. They have a lot of the same fruits, but they all have different names. So Trinidad also, obviously, one of the big fruits is mango. And there's so many different types of mangoes.
Yeah, I never knew there were so many different types.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
But they're all good to me. I like all of them. Pineapple.
Which is called pine.
Pine.
They dropped the pineapple.
And their bananas are not like the full-length American bananas. It's like the small babies.
They're
the
little
ones.
They're tiny. You need to eat about
I think they're called like finger bananas because they're like the length of your fingers or something like that.
I don't know. We're going to have to fact check that one because we're not actually sure.
And then they also have so many different types of preserved fruits and like it's not really sweets, but snacks. Like they do preserved plums, preserved mangoes, and it's like in this red preserve. Sometimes you could get it spicy, sometimes you could get it like salty. It has different kinds. One of the other things for their fruit is chow. So they make pineapple chow or mango chow.
I think they make any chow.
I was gonna say
anything.
That's
anything
like the
that
traditional.
they have laying around will soon become a chow.
That's the traditional, but you can really make a chow with anything. Cucumber, any kind of fruit. And a chow is basically sliced up fruits, or maybe I think a cucumber is a fruit. So sliced up fruits, and you put salt, pepper, and then you put hot pepper. So in Trinidad, you'll use like Scotch bonnet, and then you put this green leaf, which in Trinidad is called shadow benny, which is, I think it's known as the Cuban thyme. Everything in Trinidad is cooked with shadow benny, and that just makes everything taste so much better. When you go for doubles, when you go for shock and bake, there's a shadow benny sauce. So good. You put it on everything. Also garlic sauce, right on everything. I'm getting so hungry. When you order doubles, it has all these condiments that you could put on. So in New York, there's a trend of putting meat on doubles. So you can get doubles with...
Not just doubles, aloo pie as well.
I know. Well, aloo pie is potato that has been boiled and mashed with different spices like cumin, salt, pepper, some other stuff. And then you put that into a dough, flatten it out, and then you fry it. So it looks like an empanada, but it has potato on the inside.
And it's bigger than an empanada.
It's way bigger than an empanada. And some people, you cut that open and you put meat inside, but that's been around for a long time. Because I know when we were kids, I had that one time with shrimp, curried shrimp, and it was good. But now there's a trend of putting meat inside of doubles, but that's not the traditional way to eat this. I'm pretty sure someone went to the shop and said, oh, can I just have some shrimp, some chicken? And that's how it created. But I don't think in the double stand in Trinidad, they're not doing that. It's just the doubles, and then you have your different condiments that you could put on top, which is pepper sauce, shadow benny sauce, tamarind sauce, cucumber. I don't know. I think it's like
a whole lot of stuff, and really you should just try to eat it plain for the first time so you get the idea of what it tastes like, and then you can add different things to it.
Yes, definitely.
If you ever have the chance to try it.
And also in Trinidad, the doubles are like so small compared to what it is in America. It's a lot bigger in America.
Everything is a lot bigger in America.
Yeah, it's supersized in America. What are some of the other for the sweets and desserts?
Wait. Let's go back to street food. Oysters. Oh. The oysters are so good. It's not like the oysters you just shoot here.
On the half shell.
No, not on the half shell. Thank you. That's what I meant. They season it really well. I couldn't tell you one seasoning that's in this thing because I have no idea. But the guy on the street has like this little makeshift stand, and he seasons up the oysters. He puts it in a cup, and in like a plastic cup, like just something you're gonna throw right out. And He gives it to you in a cup, and it is the best thing in the world. Like, really, really good.
Oh.
You don't need to go over every ingredient.
Let me translate this. In Trinidad, the oysters are either a lot smaller or they're taking the full-size oysters and cutting it. So you're getting a lot smaller pieces. And then it's put into this liquid sauce that's almost like a brine that is it. I'm pretty sure it has tamarind because it has like that sweet taste to it, but they make it spicy. So when you're like shooting the oysters, when you're taking it, or it's served with a spoon, you can almost drink the broth as well because it's so tasty. And it is served in a disposable cup. And it's just not like American oysters at all.
Is that what you would consider a broth? Now, with every doubles that you get, you should get something to wash it all down. So Trinidad is known for their sweet drinks. So, which is pretty much
soda,
which is just soda,
but it's like super sweet. It's sweeter than normal.
Yeah. They have Solo, which is the company. They have
Chubby.
Red Solo. Yeah, Chubby, which is the small little ones to the bigger Solo. There's Peanut Punch, which is so good, but incredibly
fattening. Wait, hold on. That's not this. So Solo and Chubby is like, it originated with, I think, the cola champagne, cream soda, and another one. But now it has so many.
Banana.
Banana. Yes, those were the 3 original flavors. And the banana was like an orangish color. Cream soda
I like this sweater.
Yes. Cream soda was clear. And then the champagne cola was like a red, pinkish. It almost looked like the color of grenadine. So those were the 3 original. And I think now, I know for Chubby, there's so many different flavors now.
I haven't had a Chubby in decades.
Yeah, but I would imagine it's going to be super sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But then Peanut Punch.
Peanut Punch is, well, again, I can't tell you the ingredients. It's milk and
sugar,
butter blended together. It's like a peanut butter milkshake, kind of.
Yes.
That's the closest thing I could think of. It is so delicious, so good. Definitely fattening. Your cholesterol is gonna go up, but it might be worth it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely good.
There's also other drinks like sorrel, which
hibiscus.
Any hibiscus flavored, any beverage you see here is similar to what we have in Trinidad, which we call sorrel. It's a really pretty dark purple color and typically made around Christmas time. There's also Mauve, which I don't know what that is, but
I think it's like the bark of something that you boil or it's supposed to be a good drink for you. Sea moss is another drink that you can make.
Sea moss has gotten very popular here.
Yes.
As everything, right?
Yes.
Like if you think about like putting oil in your hair, coconut oil.
Yes.
Right? That's something that comes from Indian culture.
I actually saw, I'm not going to say the person because I'm not sure, but a famous Indian person said she used to be so embarrassed growing up as a kid with having to put coconut oil in her hair and some of the other like skin care things that comes from the Indian culture. She was so embarrassed. And now she's looking back and she was like, well, I was doing that forever, but I was just too embarrassed to say it. And
there was a whole article about it, about how some of the beauty traditions that come from the Indian culture grow up having no choice but to do them because your mom is doing them for you. Like putting coconut oil in your hair and braiding it and probably sending you to school, although we never had that experience, which so glad. Thank you, Mommy. But it helps your hair. It helps strengthen it. It's such a good thing. Actually, maybe not thank you, Mommy. Maybe she should have been doing that. Maybe we missed out on that part. But it's made itself into mainstream culture and things that people do now, which Indian people have been doing for centuries.
Also, thing that it's very, I think in all West Indian culture is drinking bush tea, which is
like fever grass tea.
Fever grass, which is lemongrass.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then like my coworker is like, if I tell her anything, she's like, okay, I'm gonna make tea for you. Or then she'll say, I have to get these leaves for you and you're going to do this. And I'm like, how do you know this? One, how can you tell the difference of the leaves? And then two, how do you know? How do you know what this leaf is used for? So I told her she needs to make a book for me because I have no idea.
I'm sure there are books like that, but that she mentioned that about the bushes, I had a coworker who was very bad lucky right?
Unlucky.
Which AKA means unlucky. I told her I was going to do she needed a bush bath, which you take a bath with all these medicinal herbal bushes, right? Bushes and other leaves and whatever. And it's supposed to cleanse your body, cleanse your aura, just kind of reset everything. Which, where does one get that stuff now?
That's what I'm saying. Like, where do we
ask her?
Well,
we could all use a bush bath every once in a while.
I know where she gets it from, but she's importing it.
Kristen.
It's true, she's importing it. So I don't know if we can get that easily in the streets of New York. But
I don't know. It's worth a try though.
Yeah. But in Trinidad, medicine is not used as frequently because everyone
has a concoction of something to put together, boil it, put it in a cup, and drink it as tea.
Yes. And also tea is anything that's hot. So if you're drinking hot chocolate, which is Ovaltine or Milo, that's considered tea. Also, regular tea is considered tea.
Tea is everything. And like we said in one of the previous episodes, I mean, drinking tea is a daily occurrence.
For us.
Coffee and tea, I think everyone has it. It's very odd to meet someone who doesn't drink
have a hot
either
beverage.
Of them. Something that our mom says, which I still can't understand to this day, is it's not hot tea. It's not hot chocolate. It's a hot cup of tea and a hot cup of chocolate. Just so everyone knows, the cup is normal temperature. The cup is just a regular cup. We're not heating up the cup. It's what's inside. But this is the way of saying things, so we just leave it be.
I walked in today and I said, oh, it's kind of cold. And she said, do you want a hot cup of tea?
And I quickly jot that thing down. Yeah. Hearing her say that made me think of so many other things that Trinidadians say that really doesn't make all that much sense. Or it's just really could not tell you where they came up with that. Some kind of made sense. Like, we're going to watch a film today. What are you doing in Trinidad? You're watching a film. It's not a film. Just the letters just did a 180 and did a reverse. And now we are watching a film.
Oh, also.
I wonder if they have a film festival. They should.
As I was talking about my coworker, her name is Kathy from Poland. Her name is Kathy. And I remembered.
Oh my God, shout out Kathy.
I realized there's no Kathy in Trinidad. It's Catty.
Yeah, there's no H.
There's no H, so there's
in
no
the language.
Kathy. Yeah.
You just skip over the H.
Well, it depends because.
Unless you're saying cup. The H exists for hot.
But the TH is never
a thing.
It's never a thing.
No, it becomes one single sound that comes out of your mouth.
One of the things that you say all the time is, for breakfast, I'm gonna have toast bread.
Yeah, I've gotten into fights with people about this.
Because it's just toast.
It's just toast. My logic is that you could toast a lot of things. So I want to be very specific on what I want toasted.
You want a toast
muffin.
bagel.
I don't want a toast bagel. I don't want a toasted English muffin. I want toast bread. And I guess I should be saying toasted bread, but we have to just cut everything short. So it's just toast bread. But that is something, yes, I still say to this day.
Yes.
And I'm going to die saying it. One is going to convince me otherwise. It is toast bread that I'm having for breakfast with my hot cup of tea and my zabaka choka. That sounds delicious, which is basically like avocado. It's just avocado toast. You make a little avocado thing like guacamole. Sorry, I had to do the snap fingers because it helps me think. You make that and then you put it on the toast bread, and then lo and behold, you have avocado toast.
They were before our time. It was around way before we knew anything.
Before our time.
Yes. What are some other things?
Some other words like people tend to say, oh, if you're in the bedroom, and I told her, oh, I'm just going outside to
watch TV.
I'm not leaving the apartment. I am staying inside the apartment. I'm just going to another room. I'm going to the living room.
The living room is considered outside.
Is outside. Everything is outside, but it's actually indoors.
But the inside is really your bedroom.
Yeah. That's very confusing. It's very hard to explain that, but it's just, oh, I'm going outside to watch TV. Well, outside is really just any other room in the place where you live. So that's an interesting one. One that I really love because I can't think of anything in English language that like truly captures it, that's a Banka.
It's heartbreak.
It's like heartbreak,
lovesick.
love, it's just like unrequited love. But could you imagine, like, Kristen has, or actually I have a Tabanka, right? Like, I love someone, they don't love me back. So yeah, heartsick and lovesick, but it's so much worse than that because everything in Trinidad is way more dramatic. So, like, I'd be on like death's door with this Tabanka, basically. And I would hope someone picked a bush and boiled it and gave it to me too.
Is there, I wonder if there's a tea for that.
For being lovesick?
Yes.
Ask your friend.
Yes.
Well,
TBD.
TBD on that. That might be a thing.
Yes.
Can you think of any other ones? There's lots.
There's so many.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
There's really so many, but you don't realize it until someone starts to make fun of you for it. Because, or they ask you, what are you saying?
What are you talking about? Yes. No matter how long it's going to take you to do something, we're doing it just now.
Just now. Or if it recently passed, it just happened. It's not.
Like, just is not mere moments ago or moments coming up.
Yeah. Just
could mean a year ago.
Or multiple years.
There's no concept of time, I feel, which is certainly true because how I've heard, there's Indian Standard Time, there's Island Standard Time, which goes without explanation. Like,
definitely.
No one gets to where they need to be on time.
If you go to the party at the time of the invitation, you will be setting up for the party.
Yeah, you will be put to work.
Yes.
So when we have an event,
no, I don't even know if we should say this.
What I was going to say is when I have an event and I ask people to come over at 6, that means come at 6 because I don't subscribe to the IST. I don't subscribe to Island Standard Time.
If I'm having an event and I want it to start at 6, I'll tell people 5.
Which is also a thing people do.
Yes.
But
because like they don't want to be the first person there or
whatever the case is, but
that's a thing. Always late. Except to the airport.
Oh my god.
Because you have to go 10 hours before
and
to make sure the plane is there.
Yeah. You gotta see the plane come in. You have to see the plane. People come off the plane. Disembark the plane. You gotta see the maintenance people clean the plane. Then you have to see the pilot, co-pilot, crew members get on the plane.
But also when you're in the airport, you have to go to either Royal Castle or KFC. Swear to God, KFC in the islands is completely different than KFC in America. And fun fact, the KFC in Trinidad created the cruncher.
What?
The cruncher. It's like a spicy chicken sandwich from KFC. It was originated in Trinidad.
You know what else originated in Trinidad? The steel pan.
Of course.
The instrument.
The steel pan. And steel pan being heard live is just like
nothing you've ever heard.
Nothing else.
It's great.
If you ever go somewhere and you hear live music, you'll know the difference. But then when you hear the steel pan live, it's just something that you have to experience.
Yeah. Did you know that the steel pan became the national instrument this year for Trinidad?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What was it before?
Who knows? But
makes
a bottle and spoon, probably.
No.
The steel pan just this year, in January of this year, it became known as the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago.
That makes sense. And even when you hear steel pan, most of the times they take a song with lyrics and they make that into the steel pan song, and it sounds so different. Like, you could recognize the song, but it's just so different. It's amazing to hear it, especially live. When you hear it, it's just so great.
The music is something to behold too. Calypso came from Trinidad, and apparently the limbo came from Trinidad. I think there's also there's some like African roots with that too, but Trinidad is primarily Afro-Indian, so that totally made sense.
With limbo, I think the woman who holds the world Guinness record for limbo is also from Trinidad.
Oh, that's nice to know. There's some famous people from Trinidad, other than Nicki Minaj. Do you know any? The only one I can think of at the moment is the author, E.S. Naipaul. He is an esteemed author.
There's a lot of actors. I don't know this guy's name, but he was in Wakanda.
Oh, I have no idea.
A lot of people have descendants from Trinidad, like Tatiana.
Oh, Nia Long.
Nia Long,
Yeah.
Alfonso.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Carlton?
people. Yes.
Carlton from Fresh Prince.
Yes. Yes. There's a
I
lot
didn't
of
know
people.
about that one. Speaking of the airport, that reminded me. So a suitcase is not a suitcase. I don't know where this name came from, but you are taking a grip.
So you got to grip onto it.
Your suitcase becomes a grip. Yeah, it's GRIP. So I feel like the common theme when it comes to the words is basically a new word to describe what you're doing or to describe the item or something of that nature. It's hard to understand where these phrases and terms really came from.
I'm sure it made sense when they were creating it.
Or they said it.
Or they said it. Also, I know sometimes when I'm making fun of something, I say it and then I just continue saying it so many times that I forget the real pronunciation or the real word about it. So
that's how things start. And then before you know it,
it catches on and then everyone's saying it.
Yeah.
So that's how nicknames also start.
Oh yeah, that's
which in Trinidad also it's like it's
the tallest person, you'll call them shorty.
Yes. Or I mean really in Trinidad any nickname is just by looking at you.
Yeah.
So
I don't want anyone to call me Maga.
Which is skinny.
I mean, they probably will.
Yes, they probably will.
But it's like a dual, like for us, I feel that yes, even though it's English, it's almost like a dual language. You have to.
Yes.
Know the words.
And when I was in elementary school, I had a very hard time because when I had to learn how to spell. Well, we all know I don't like to read and write, but maybe this is why. It's because when I had to learn how to spell and I'm spelling the numbers ONETWOTREE, that's not correct. But also because I say tree. 1, 2, tree.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn that's not correct. You have to say 3. And I didn't know how to spell. I didn't know how to spell.
Do the TH again. Just because.
No. I didn't know how to spell 3. I knew tree.
Also, because they were under British rule for the longest time, I think they just got their independence. Like, everything is spelled with a U.
Yes, like color.
Color. COLOUR. Flavor, color. I don't mind that one so much. But I will say, because of the British rule, their education system is really good. I can say for myself and all the times that I've gone, every time I see my cousins and their kids, they're just the brightest children I've ever met. They are so well spoken. They know how to spell. They know how to read. They know how to write. They know all these facts about the country, which is really impressive.
And they're so well-mannered.
Maybe not all of them, but for the most part. But for instance, the last time I went there, Trinidad has this beautiful bird sanctuary. It's called the Caroni Bird Sanctuary. And it is such an experience to go. Our family rented a boat. Maybe there was like 20 of us all in this boat. And the tour guide took us to various places along the bird sanctuary to look at different plants and trees and animals. I had no idea, but these kids, they were telling me that this is a mangrove. And to this day, I still don't know what a mangrove is, but they know what it is.
Isn't it like a small body of water, kind of swampish?
That sounds right, and that's kind of where we were, so yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It's like a watery swamp.
I think that's what it is, like a shallow water.
They were telling me, yeah, I think that's right. They were telling me that the national bird is the scarlet ibis, which I had no idea. But good for them. I'm glad that they're learning things in school.
Yeah, that's how a lot of the Caribbean islands are. The education system is different than the American education system. So oftentimes when you start school in the Caribbean and then you move to America, you're oftentimes a grade ahead because of the schooling system there.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the national sport.
Cricket.
Cricket is a big deal. Throughout the Caribbean,
Yes.
throughout every island in the Caribbean.
Also, probably from it's also a big sport in India.
Yeah, so I
and
think
with the British.
so I think the indentured servitude probably brought cricket over to Trinidad, and it is such a huge deal. Unfortunately, we've never had the opportunity to go to a cricket match, but I would love to go. It looks like such a social scene.
It looks like a fun life.
Yeah, very fun. I can't really understand anything about cricket though. I've tried. All I like to hear is when the bat hits the ball and that sound that it makes. You know that sound? Yeah. It's it's nice to look at. And I think it'll be nice to be with your friends and your family and have a good time.
Yeah. We have to do that the next time we go.
We should definitely try to do that. And we would be remiss if we did not mention the biggest festival in Trinidad.
Yes, for sure. What do you call it? The greatest party in the world? It really is. I mean, if you're into that, it really is. I think everyone should experience it at least once in their life. Non-stop partying. You don't have to drink if you don't want to.
I didn't drink the last
She
time.
didn't drink.
I had a grand old time.
Yeah, it's so great. Just so many different people from walks of life, different ages, different sizes. It's just like everyone comes together and has a great time. It doesn't matter if you know each other. It's just like at that time everybody's related, everyone's family. You just have it's such a vibe.
Such a vibe.
Such a vibe.
Oh my god. Well, what are you talking about?
Carnival.
Talking about Carnival.
Obviously.
Carnival happens in February or March.
It happens it's the Monday and Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. And the reason is so that you can
repent your sins
on Ash Wednesday. You can do what you want and then you can repent your sins. And then you can fast for Lent.
I'm sure that's not the reason, but it kind of just falls that way. But the weeks leading up to Carnival is super fun. There's lots of festivals. There's breakfast fetes.
A fete is a party.
A fete is a party.
And they will find any time to have a party. So they'll do a breakfast fete, a lunch fete.
I've never heard of a lunch fete.
A nighttime fete.
There's all-inclusive fetes where the drinks are included, the food is included.
There's cooler fetes where you bring your own cooler with drinks in there.
They're very specific rules though, no glass bottles.
Yes, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Fetes are a lot of fun. We've been to a few.
Most of the time they have performers and
musicians.
It's just a big party, and most of the time it's outdoors because there's so many grassy areas, I guess, to hold this. And like sometimes it's in a stadium, it's in a parking lot. They have everyone. They have some fetes with water, with paint, just all different things all different elements that's going on.
It's a very creative time. They have great locations, like you said. There's so many people at these events, and I think probably one of the only times in the country where it feels very unified.
Yes.
Everyone is kind of in the same boat together and having fun and having a great time with friends and family. So it's certainly one of the most fun times to visit.
Yes.
Trinidad is a tropical island, so it's always hot. So you know the weather's going to be great no matter what. And that's especially important because for Carnival Monday and Tuesday, it's outside. It's pretty much the country shuts down and you parade in the street.
It's a parade.
It's a parade in the street with music and alcohol and performers as well.
You do get food.
And you get snacks too.
But like as I said, everyone comes together as one. So you'll see your boss on the street. You'll see your school teacher. You'll see everyone on the street.
Even your pastor.
Even the famous people in Trinidad. They're just with everyone else on the street.
The prime minister.
I don't know about that.
No, it's true.
Oh.
So everyone is there, but what really unifies people is there's beautiful costumes for different groups of people. So you have to join a group, and
which is called a band.
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 It's not a musical band. It's just a band of people coming together to dress in these really intricate, beautiful, colorful costumes that also unifies people. And the costumes are gorgeous, but oh my lord, they are so expensive for I'm not sure what.
very small outfits. They're trying to make it more inclusive to different sizes, but it's very small. I mean, Trinidad Carnival is a time to show off your body, I guess, that you've worked all year on.
And even if you didn't work all year, don't worry, it's gonna shame you.
That's the beauty of it. Everyone comes as they are, and everyone just has a good time.
And this is from morning till like
nighttime. And then even after that, there's still an after party going on somewhere. And then after that, on Ash Wednesday, everyone goes to Tobago for the line
to relax and recover and rejuvenate from all the weeks of partying that they've done.
Yes. I would say if anyone has the opportunity to go and you're into that, go and have a great time. But there's also so many other things to see in Trinidad, such as the bird sanctuary. There's a lot of locations to do hikes, waterfalls, beaches. Obviously, the food is great. However, we do have to put a disclaimer out there that if you are thinking of going, you should go with someone that you know that is from Trinidad or someone that you know lives in Trinidad, because it is one of the more dangerous countries in the Caribbean. So if you are not familiar, I would not suggest going on your own and expecting to get an Uber on the street.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna get one.
Don't do that.
I don't know if they have Ubers. They have what's called a maxi taxi,
which is
a maximum size taxi.
What we know as those white vans.
Well, yeah, but it's not a kidnapper van. Hopefully not. But yeah, you're not gonna get an Uber.
You're not gonna go Uber on the streets.
If anyone wants to pay for either of our tickets, we will gladly be your tour guide when we get there. And you will be safe because Kristen and I are very strong. And we will bodyguard you. Maybe not me, but her for sure.
Nope. Not I. But you can still pay for our tickets and we can go do an episode in Trinidad if you would like.
So in Trinidad, we could go to the Pitch Lake. That's also another... What? The Pitch Lake, where all the oil is.
No.
There's also a temple in the sea, which is a beautiful Hindu temple in a gorgeous body of water.
I don't know how they even constructed that.
Yeah, no idea. But it's just one of the wonders of
Trinidad.
I can't say the world, but definitely Trinidad.
It's the wonder of Trinidad. Yeah. So if you do go, it's so many other sights to see. And if you are going for Carnival, just make sure and stay long enough to see other things.
Because there's lots to enjoy. The weather is great. The food is amazing. The music could not be more fun. And like the flag shows, the people are warm and welcoming. Typically, I think more often than not, make you feel like family.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more episodes. Maybe we'll do one with food, some with music, and anything else that inspires us from Trinidad.
Thanks everyone for listening. If you have any Trinidad related stories or questions,
comments,
or just need some recommendations for your next trip, let us know. Happy to help.
Reach out to us. You can reach out to us on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. On YouTube, you could like, share, and subscribe.
Great.